You're listening to Country First with John Gomez.
And welcome back to Country First on Long Island's only country station, 96.1. Yours truly, John Gomez, with you, bringing you the best in country music and the best in talk about our country. Let's turn our attention to some local politics. As you know, and as I've said on the program, there are a lot of races that the Republican Party lost this year in Suffolk County that they should have won. I was fortunate enough to have the big winner on my show about 2 weeks ago, Frank Tantone, the chairman of the Islip Republican Party. You can't argue with the fact that he's the winner. He's the big kahuna now. He worked hard. He's got the strategy that works. He stuck to it. And now he won the entire town slate, which is phenomenal. And, you know, now you turn our attention to Brookhaven. They just about lost everything. So isn't it fitting to go to the town leader of the winner, the winning coach, and say, hey, coach, what can we do to get all the other towns in the county, Suffolk County, back to winning for the Republican Party? Makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. Well, sure enough, I got reamed for using the term Crookhaven when I had Frank Tantone on the program 2 weeks ago. Reamed. I got phone calls. I got emails. Oh, John, why are you using that word? Now I made phone calls. Some of the people don't want to call me back anymore. It's kind of funny how the Democrats, when I was running for Congress, I was this right-wing Republican radical. And now the Republican Party here in Suffolk County, my own party, they don't want to talk to me. They wanted to talk to me when I was getting their candidates on the air. But now, as I'm going to one leader saying, hey, Frank, what did you do to win all these seats? Maybe we should use the same formula to win other seats. And what did the other... Now, and we're going to go to the clip. We got to go to the audio clip. And you'll hear Frank Tantone. I'm the one who brought up Crookhaven because what's interesting is the town of Islip is in similar circumstances, or was in similar circumstances as the town of Brookhaven from a corruption standpoint. You had in the town of Islip, you had Pete McGowan, indicted, convicted, served, he went to prison, and he's a felon. You go to Brookhaven, and you've got Crookhaven. That's McNamara, that's Ziedler, that's Powell. And let me tell you something, folks. You Google Brookhaven, town of Brookhaven, New York. You know what you're going to get? It's going to lead you to Wikipedia. That's going to be the first line. You click on that. You scroll down, and it says Politics of Brookhaven. Nearly the entire body of content talking about politics in Brookhaven is talking about Crookhaven. Now, this is my charge to you. If you don't face and acknowledge the problems and the weaknesses you have, you're always going to have, you're never going to make progress. It makes sense, doesn't it? Let's go to the audio tape. Chairman Frank Tantone on the program just 2 weeks ago talking about the whole corruption issue with politics, Islip, Brookhaven, Crookhaven.
The town of Islip has always been a Republican town, if you will. But a couple of years ago, we had some internal issues in the Republican Party, and we got caught in a weak moment, and that's how we got Phil Nolan.
Now, speak briefly. I mean, obviously, you're alluding to the Pete McGowan years.
Yes.
How do you overcome that? I mean, out in Nassau County, they had the Margiotta problem. You have the Galata problem. Then you come over here, you've got the Pete McGowan issue. Then you've got Crookhaven, Brookhaven, Powell. Lot of, as a lifelong Republican, parents Republican, you can only take so many hits and say, hey, wait a minute. Are we with a bad team, or did we just get a bad apple?
A number of years ago, three years ago or so, in the Islip Republican Committee, we realized we had hit rock bottom at that point. We had no seats on, no elected officials. The party was broke. The leaders were in it just for themselves, and fortunately, there was a group of five. There were a group of six of us who had had enough. And the answer to your question is you need to clean your own house first. You need to work hard. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but that's the formula.
Well, there you have it. Clean your own house. Work hard. And in the interview, Frank Tantone, Chairman Tantone, talked about getting good candidates. You're not going to get perfect candidates. They're not out there. But you get good candidates, fresh candidates, like a Tom Silmy, a Tom Croce, Anthony Senft, all winners. All new blood coming in with a big win in the town of Islip. Now, turn over to Brookhaven. They had numerous races that should have been won by the Republicans. John Giannott should have won. That was an open seat. Sue Cineo, difficult race. She was a much better candidate. She's better for Long Island. She's better for her district. She should have won that race. Question is, why didn't she win? Karen Walutis against Anchor up on the northern portion of Brookhaven. A strong Republican district. She nearly got trounced. And what was the essence of Anchor's race against Walutis? It was Crookhaven. It went back because Karen Walutis happened to be working in the town of Brookhaven during this whole corruption scandal. Meanwhile, they forget to mention the fact that Karen Walutis was actually one of the people who was ridding the town of corruption. But the Dems strategically used it against her, and she lost. Now, folks, I'm asking you, which way do you want to go? Keep on doing the same thing and get the same results, meaning lose? Or do you want to rebuild, regroup? So maybe the town leader will call me. I did put a call into him. I'd like him to come on the air. I think the best thing to do, iron it out on the table, and let's move forward. But I haven't gotten any calls back. Oh, and one last thing. As far as it relates to Islip and its problems and solving them, and Brookhaven and its problems and not really knowing where they are. Has anybody heard anything from Pete McGowan? Just thought I'd throw that out there.